Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to be teaching you guys about nerve cells, or you may also have heard of neurons. Sometimes they call it that. Now, in this nerve cell, specifically, I drew a motor nerve cell, a motor neuron. So the impulses, the message that your brain is trying to pass down comes from here all the way to the back. And this part of the nerve cell is going to be connected to your effectors. An example would be your muscles. Now let's label a few things, shall we? I know that the impulse starts from here, which means these things are called the dendrons. And if you further break them apart into these smaller pieces, these are called dendrites. They have one function, which is to receive that electrical impulse, receive that message, that signal from the neuron before it. This is the nucleus, just like any other cell. And the nucleus is always enclosed inside the cell body. This whole thing that I'm trying to cover, this whole thing that I'm trying to color, this is called the cell body. Now, the signal will be passed down through this axon. This long strand is called an axon. This blue line, so I'm going to label that. This blue line is called an axon. But not every part of the axon, the electrical signal, can pass through. Do you see these small rectangular blocks that I'm circling? Now, these are made up of fat. So when your signal tries to pass through, it kind of gets blocked. It can't pass through this layer of fat. What it's going to do is it's going to jump to the next unblocked spot, and then jump and jump and jump. Now, what are all these unblocked spots called? These are called node of Ranviers. So there's a node, and there's a node, and there's a node. All these unblocked spots are called node of Ranvier. What is that block that is in place? Well, these blocks are called the Milling Sheath. The Milling Sheath has one function, which is to speed up this transmission of signal. Because hopping, as you can see, the node of Ranvier, jumping like that is faster than walking, as we all know it. Now, what about all these like dots? Hold on. These dots inside, these are all the nuclei of the cells that make the Milling Sheath. And these cells, if you learn about them, these cells are called Schwann cells. Schwann cells. Now, when the signal reaches the end of the axon, we call this the axon terminal, which just translates into the end of axon. We call this the axon terminal. This part. What happens is it will be passed to the effector. So that's the function of the axon terminal. Passes the signal to the effector, and that effector could be a muscle, could be a gland, depends on what the response is going to be. Thank you for watching.